We started the week, really the first couple of days with I kind of termed it as like if you like to go fishing, you had the great bait and you're out in the middle of the water, but there was no fish to catch, right? Like we went through 3 days of basically, and I've been up here in Bristol, Connecticut at ESPN since Sunday, and we kind of were in this period of really no action, and then all of a sudden there were a couple of trades trickled down on Wednesday, and then really the dam broke on Thursday morning here, and we saw certainly teams like New York get better, Dallas got better. Some teams like the Lakers kind of stayed pat. The Clippers got James Harden back in November. I think the slow period was a combination of players like Pascal Siakam and OG Anunoby getting traded about a month ago. Two of the main guys coming off the board here. But the trades are hard during the regular season because you are reacting off emotions, right? Like you're playing basketball games here. So, certainly the Chicago Bulls are being criticized because they're, 3 games under 500 and they didn't do anything. And, but they're playing better basketball. They had a great win against Minnesota here. It's a little bit different than when you're in the off season. The off season, I always say the off season is when everybody looks great on paper, right? Like you make a trade. Oh, we look really good. And then you start playing and you're like, we're not as good as we thought here. And I think that's kind of where the challenge is that when you're making a trade in early February here, you only have, basically kind of 2 months to figure that out.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely is a challenge, but how do you see that as an advantage for teams?
Well, I mean, there's certain ways to look at it. There are, if you're relying on the continuity, I call it the continuity factor here, where you basically did nothing. So if you're Cleveland and you are 16-1 since January 3rd, which is remarkable. Nobody's talking about Cleveland right now, right? Like nobody's talking about the Cavaliers. They're sitting in the number 2 seed right now in the Eastern Conference. They didn't do anything. They kind of stayed pat. But then you go into Brooklyn on Thursday night and beat them by 23, where a Nets team had just made 2 different trades, and they only had a certain amount of players available. Same with, Dallas added a couple pieces, but they get Kyrie and Kyrie healthy and Luka healthy, and they go into New York that only had 8 players. So it becomes a little bit of a challenge during the regular season as far as adding players. The beauty of it is that the trade deadline used to be after All-Star Weekend. So basically, it was the Thursday after All-Star Weekend, and it took away what would go on as far as the All-Star game, because all would be about trade chatter here. What happens now is that since it's the Thursday before, you get a 10-day window, kind of to put all your new pieces together, your new players before, you get the break, and then you don't play again for probably another, a week to 10 days here. So you can integrate all your new players. But as I said, like the hard part is that we always say the All-Star break is the halfway point. It's not. I mean, there's teams that have played 52 games already, that have 30 games left here. So it is a little bit, if you're going to make wholesale changes, it does present, I think, a little bit of a problem there.